Greetings. Welcome to Me P LLC, where body safety and confidence are essential to mental health. I'm Mimi P. Today, parents, we're talking about teaching your children to cry out. Why I didn't use the word educate? Education, people think of a formal setting where you're sitting down, you got to just listen. Some will let you ask questions because as children get older and become more mature and even enter into adulthood, some professors just talk. There's no time. It's just lecture. You just listen, take notes, and that's it. Teaching is given the ability to ask questions, but also to do other forms of learning, such as A, B, C, D. Remember that? Remember how the children got down and they would say L, M, N, N, O, P, Q, or and Z? Oh, that was always funny because you had to help the children not use words like and element. Pronunciation was key. And they did it over and over. You did it in the car. You did it when you sat down for dinner sometimes. You made it playful so the children could rehearse it in their mind, practicing it over and over that it would become part of their memory. And this is why I'm saying, teach your children to cry out. And parents, it will even help you become more confident as maybe things have gotten lax. How? Let me tell you how. First of all, as parents, we need to remind the children that we're in the authoritative place not to be abusive, but to guide and teach them in their conduct, in their education, because education should always be first at home. Let's go through that and we'll discuss it more towards the end. All right? Come on, walk with me. Let's say, have you taught your children about a code of rehearsal? Not yet? Why not? Or a phrase. Each child should have their own. If you choose and feel safe in everybody having their own phrase, that is well as good. The reason I say have their own is as much as parents don't want to hear it, even though they may have experienced it or know of someone else, no one likes to think of one child harming another. But it happens more than anyone like. And it happens in all different, regardless of race, religion, or creed. But okay. But then parents, have you educated yourself? Let's see. How can we help you? My parental and instructor's guide to my body and a sacrifice can help you with that. There's a session in there to help you parents. Being uneasy is not an excuse. We have to work through our fears, not looking at the whole picture sometimes, but just hammering a little at a time and not be slow, for the results can be devastating. Well, let's go here today. What have you shared with your children about being able to speak? Stranger danger. We get that because that's the educational department. Most of the people learn that in school or in some of the churches or other religious organizations picked it up from the educational department. Maybe somebody started it and it went into the education. But how have you been telling your children? Be careful how you cross the street. Look to your left, look to your right, look to your left again, and then you make sure and go. These sayings and things you do over and over. You get to a red light. Do I go or do I stop? You tell them as you're going up, uh-oh, the light is yellow. I'm supposed to speed up and run through it. No, you're supposed to get ready to stop. Or if you just getting under and then go ahead. But if you're approaching and it turns yellow, if you have the time, you're supposed to stop. That keeps everybody knowing everybody is alert. Okay. How about other things? Have you taught your children about how people talk? Hmm. How about being that example? how, as a parent, you say, hey, do what I say. Don't worry about what I do. Do what I say. I'm here to help you. Don't get offended. I'm here to help you. That doesn't work. Did it work for you? If it did, how far did it help you? You can do things a little different to help the children see both sides and to be an example, such as being kind and gentle. I'm both kind and gentle. Well, kind is the act of helping somebody out, caring for someone. Somebody needs a helping hand picking up some stuff they dropped in the grocery store. You bent down and you get it. That's kindness. Let's talk about being gentle. Gentle is when you bend down to be kind. You don't say something rude. You need to watch what you're doing. That's your delivery. That's your tone. When you being gentle, it's soft and calm. Try to be to the minimum, non-offensive. You may say, excuse me, you need to be a little more careful, watch your sight. But you're not trying to be smart aleck, say something with a smile that you really mean to be nasty. It's saying, hey, I want to create an atmosphere where you don't have to feel alert to think that there's some kind of harm or danger coming. So it's how you be kind. I ask you for $1. You're caring enough to give me $1 because you know I need to catch the bus. I know that's some old stuff, right? $1. But being gentle means giving it to me and saying, here, but I need it back. Versus, here, I had planned on doing such and such today, but I hope you don't think I'm giving it to you to have. I'm giving it as a loan. You don't have to say it like that. Your presentation, how you conduct your kind deed, is what we call gentle. Okay. Let's move on, parents, and let's talk about parenting. Let's understand how it is with your children that you have to let them understand about boundaries. How it's important that it's your role to educate them, to teach them on different subjects. You may not be the greatest at math. Math is changing every couple of years, I'm telling you. But you may be great at geography or in science. So what you want to do is build a relationship with your children, a rapport, time where y'all can come together and learn and they can see how you can help them out. And then as you see that they're getting things, you back away to let them become more confident in themselves and what they're learning. And it's just not you giving the answers. How about as a parent, we forget things like teaching children how to handle conflict when disagreements arise. I don't know how y'all gonna work it out, but y'all better work it out. Doesn't work when you haven't taught them critical thinking, how to do conflict resolution. That really is part of the problem today, even in the home. So much confusion between the parent and the children. Nobody know how to resolve conflict other than just do what I say or you're going to get punished. I don't take that away. The child needs to know that there's boundaries and they need to respect authority. Too many of our children are in the law system. You say the legal system, I still say law, it's the same. It's because they can't respect the law that they end up in there. If they had understood to hold your tongue, not just at the police, but maybe at somebody at the grocery store who falsely accused them of stealing, but they so busy fussing and cussing a grown person out that they haven't figured, hey, if I just do this calm and say I didn't take it, I wasn't the one, No, I looked at it, but I didn't put it back on that shelf, but I put it around the corner on the other shelf. But they too busy talking back. Let's move on. Critical thinking is helping your children learn how to get the information, understand the consequences of either decision they make, and even helping them to understand the long-term effect. You may get away with a lie today, but in 3 weeks, that lie come to light, and now you're considered a liar. No one can trust you. So a quick getaway today doesn't work further down. There's a lot of marriages that collapse because of that. A lot of people in legal issues because of that. Later on, they tell you it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. And I was watching a TV show the other day and I heard the phrase, number one rule is not to get caught. And when you get caught, it happens more than you want to know. Okay, so let's move on past that. How about explaining to your children by your example? Sometimes you can explain something in your actions better than your words. How it's important to show somebody you love them. Oh, it's great that being at the recitals, the sporting events, anywhere where you can, hey, my child is doing this, my child is doing it. So my child not the best, but they out there. But what about when you're at home? Grandparents, hey, are we guilty when the grandchildren are over? They just there. We should make it an eventful time where they can learn from us and we can learn from them. Watch them. They watching you. And you can watch them and say, oh, my grandchild is growing up. My grandchild is learning some things. Hey, my grandchild needs some help in this, but you got to be careful because the parents and the boundaries they set. But as grandparents, we're still vital to the family, not just as babysitters. When you go in the kitchen and cook, they don't like cooking? Okay. You can at least scramble the eggs. You didn't cook nothing. It's not on the stove. You don't want to do the dishes? Then help me make this meatloaf. And we'll load the dishwasher together. Joyful things. Boundaries. You don't go into the bedroom. That's not your place. This is mom and dad's bedroom, our time alone. Or this is grandma, Mimi's, or whoever bedroom. That's yours. Boundaries. Doors stay open. Whatever the rules are of safety. Now let's move on. We've been talking about how to keep your children safe. Understand, being with your child and talking to them about safety is more than just talking about proper touch and improper touch. You can bring a whole conversation in about different subjects. My body is a sacrifice. Helps you understand that it goes much further. It goes much further than that. It's a beginning. It's the basic. And protecting this body is basic. So one of the things I decided to do is to help you all have conversations and dialogue and you can grow together. Is I put a challenge on it. Yes, a role reversal. I'm asking the mother and the father, both, to be in this. Because as parents, do you understand? Because I use the Bible in the parental instructor's guide to my body as a sacrifice, in the narrative that's in the Bible about how it has been violated in the family of inappropriate touching and how it affects long term. So on using that, you have to understand things was going on that long and still relevant today, just on a much higher level. But I want to talk about parenting. In the Bible, when it's talk about parenting, yes, that's an old custom, but let me help you understand it where it is today. It was the men's responsibility to be the head of the household, to set the atmosphere of how things was to go. But many people forget that it was a woman's role to be held in high regard, for she was the one that bore children. So therefore, she was to be considered the highest educator in the home. And parents had their roles and stuck to them. There was no crossing. But even back then, in teaching and educating the children, the father still had a role. He still would teach his son a trade. See there, he teaching, educating them how to do things. He didn't have his son to grow up and say, oh, I don't know what I want to do, and didn't have a skill. So he would learn to be able to provide for his family. The women taught the girls to cook at a young age. It wasn't waiting till you're 16, 17, when you're about to be grown and always eating out. Now you don't have money to pay the rent. Now you're looking for gas and got to borrow money. Now today, roles are a little different. Women, it's not that they always want to have to get to work. They have to in most incidents. And then the way the education system is now, a lot of parents think that they don't have to educate their children at home. You just send them off to the daycare or wherever and they can educate you. They'll teach them. Let the daycare teach them their ABCs. Not a problem with that, but they should learn it first from you, because what you're doing is teaching them who you are. You're a loving parent. You're a first educator. You're the one that's helping them learn to walk. And many parents I have heard really hurt that they wasn't the first one to see their child take a step. Things has changed. But understand, fathers had a role and understood it wasn't just bringing home the money or wait until he was older before he learned to do something. What you gonna do in playing sports? Sports has its seasons and then it has its off season. Everybody can't be a star basketball player or football player. Everybody won't grow up to be the greatest violinist. And then accidents happen. No longer can play basketball because you fell and hurt your rotator cuff. It's over. So you taught your children to think with their brain and with their hands. There's nothing wrong with being a builder using your hands, or an architect using your brain to bring things into alignment. So please, parents, understand it is both of your duty and obligation, and you're held in accountability to do that. Beyond men, beyond human race. So men, help in educating your son about inappropriate touch, how they view a female. For your daughter is a female and there's males watching her. Set the boundaries in the family and rehearse it and talk about it often. Now, here's the goal. Here's the test. Because you done gave them talks, you can try to do them different ways, talking in the car. Hey, when you're going down the street, what do you think is wrong with this one and that? Hey, and also watch the movies. Play a role reversal. Dad, you got your children. Come home. Seem a little frustrated. Please warn your wife. You know, wives warn your husbands or your mates. And say, hey, there was a woman at work that said something inappropriate, something sexually inappropriate. What do you think I should do? 16-year-old son said, Dad, man, I know you wish you were single. I said, son, that's not the right answer. I'm serious. You got to play this role like your favorite actor or actress. Make it seem real. Have these children engaged, seem troubled. When they say, well, why didn't you go tell the boss? I don't know, I could lose my job. And I'm not sure, I don't know if they would really do it. I just got angry. Make it real. Talk to your children for a good while. Let them get riled up and say, well, I don't know. If it was you, what would you do? I tell a teacher. What do you think the teacher would do? Are you scared that they will come back and hurt you? Understand this even goes into the conversation of bullying. Because bullying is intimidation. Well, they said, my boss said if I said something, she gonna fire me. Now how am I gonna be able to feed y'all? Make it real. But hold on. Before a child go off to practice or go off to work, let them know you was just giving them a rehearsal, an unknown rehearsal. Have a child telling one of their siblings, hey, such and such happened in school, what do you think I should do? It's about rehearsing. It's about helping them. It's about helping them understand conflict. Too many of our children are suffering from suicide, especially teenagers, between the age of 15 and 19. That's the number one age of suicide for teenagers. But a lot of children are going to school and being punished for things that they didn't even do just because somebody is a bully and hitting on them. They getting into fights and they're losing. Or children are laughing and they coming home and they suffering with depression and you just don't know what's wrong. You ask them, but they're not being upfront with you. Hey, tell your child to show you how they would scream if they was in danger. Somebody is threatening them. They can always scream. How would they come? How would they tell you? Rehearse, practice it in the car, talk about it, make up a song. I'm the author, Me P, LLC, where body safety and confidence are essential to mental health. Parents, teach your children to cry out. Enjoy your day.